Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the brand new season of MindSpace TV. I'm your stand-in host today, Ropiwa Madzena. Fifi Peters is away on assignment. Now, spring has sprung and the warm weather is already hitting us hard. So let's delve straight into season 2 with two studio guests. Welcome to Elsa Beytell from Old Mutual and Nkazi Sokhulu from Yalu. First things first, many thanks for joining me this evening, lady and gent. Let's start with Yalu. What exactly is it and what does it do?
What is Yalu? So a lot of people in this country have personal loans and other forms of debt. But what a lot of people don't realize is that typically when they take out that debt from, let's say, Bank X, they're actually required to have something called credit life insurance on that loan. And for the duration of the repayment of that loan, they're required to have it. And so they sign documentation that says, okay, I agree that I'll have this credit life insurance. What typically happens is that you end up taking the credit life that is offered by that credit provider. So where Yalu comes in is that we say, we believe we can offer you an alternative to that product that you would have taken up with your bank. We believe it's a product that is, an industry-leading product. We believe it's got best processes, it's got wonderful coverage, and the reality is that we think it's a space that's been ripe for disruption. If you think about credit life insurance and how many people have loans, it's actually a bigger market than funeral cover, which is very well known. And this one it lags behind in terms of education, and one of the biggest things we're focused on is educating people about credit life and then ultimately what Yalu has to offer. Yeah,
are you able to educate me quickly on what credit life insurance is? I mean, you did say a lot of us have loans, and that understanding on that protection on that loan should something happen perhaps is something that we need to learn about.
Absolutely. I think in terms of what could happen and therefore what it covers, credit life is actually quite a regulated industry. There were new regulations that were drawn up by the DTI last year and came into effect in August. And basically all credit life products have to offer protection against death, protection against permanent and temporary disability, and protection against loss of income or retrenchment. And typically that's what the products in the market offer. And what we believe is we offer something that's very simple to take up. It's less than 5 minutes. Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Limited came to the party and said, we hear this and we want to actually partner with you and work with you on this product.
No, absolutely, and I'm glad you bring up those partners. Elsa, please talk us through Ormat and really the partnership that's been created with Yalu.
Yeah, so what Ormat does is we are what we call a self-captive life insurer. So we allow companies that are not insurance companies to participate in insurance activities. So Yalu wants to offer a life product, but they don't have their own life license, so they can't offer that or underwrite that. We do that. So we partner and then co-craft specific products, niche products, specific distribution angles that offers products to the market. And that's what we're doing in this case. So Yalu is one of the companies we partner with.
So just a better understanding, you are providing licenses to companies like Yalu to provide products to their clients.
Yeah, it's quite a mouthful. So what we do is we provide access to our license. So they cannot just offer insurance product. They need the insurance license to offer a product. But to operate your own insurance license and apply for your own insurance license take a lot of capital and expertise and time that a lot of startup insurance wouldn't have. So by allowing them to write it from our license, they provide the capital to do that, a portion of capital, less than it would be to start their own insurance company. They can now offer a product to the public that's underwritten by us.
Maybe also talk about the gap that you saw in the market for Old Mutual to create this bespoke insurance within the group.
Yeah. So this industry has been around for a number of years, 20 to 30 years, and it originally started to offer, without having to get your own insurance license, we get access to these non-insurance companies. Firstly, it was really for employers who wanted to offer bespoke employee benefits. But then it also moved to the space where it really encourages innovation and transformation in the insurance industry to give people access to offer niche and specific insurance products without having their own insurance license. And that's really the opportunity we have seen. So there's a number of big insurance players, but financial inclusion is very important, and offering products to specific markets and innovation is very important. And this is what this self-captive insurance license enables us to do, is to partner with startups, insurtech startups, that comes with a product idea, like Yalu, or come with a specific digital distribution idea, or companies that just have large corporates that's got lots of customers that they want to offer a white label bespoke product, insurance product that they think that will meet their needs.
Yeah, and guys, I think this is a nice point for you to come in here and maybe help us delve a little bit more into creating these niche or tailored insurance products, and really how Yalu benefits from that as well.
So I have, for all my sins, I have experience in having started an insurance company where we applied for a life insurance license, long-term insurance to be specific. It was excruciating. It took upwards of 12 months just to be able to get the license approved, and then for us to actually start writing products on that license. And so, you know, the reason for us as Yalu, why a partnership with Ormat was so critical, is that we understood that the process is quite frankly painful, and when you want to focus on innovation and want to deliver your product and want to learn as you go along, we've always felt that it was better to actually partner with somebody who we could rely on that deep insurance expertise, and we could then rely on our expertise, which was more around understanding processes that our competitors actually undergo in order to offer Create Life. So that was what we understood better. And instead of trying to be the jack of all trades and be the insurance technical experts and the actuarial technical experts, we look to a partner like Ormat and say, listen, you guys are better at this than we are. Let's partner, and we can then design this product together and then bring it to market through our own distribution channels that we've custom built.
But I think what it also gives Old Mutual the opportunity is to participate in the innovation and transformation of the insurance industry, which is also very important. So I think both those aspects are very important, and it's also staying close to what is happening in the insurance industry, to invite innovators to come and do it on our license, and do that in partnership with them.
Ormat set a very high standard for a foundation that we had to put down in order to enable the business to really grow from strength to strength. And so for us, we're in this for the long haul. We're not going to be fly-by-nights. We're in it for a very long time, and eventually those profits will come, and the hard work and the sweat and tears will pay off.
No, absolutely. I can see also agreeing very vigorously.
I think Nkazi touched on a very important point there, that ultimately to create a profit you need to have a sustainable business. And there's no way you can build a sustainable insurance business without treating customers fairly. And I think that's an important criteria for us when we partner with potential new startups, is to be assured that they have the customer's interest at heart.
I want to understand, and maybe Elsa, you are equipped to answer this, captive arrangements and how these benefit both institutional and business clients.
Yeah, I think the big benefit for clients is that they can participate in the insurance business without going through the process of getting their own insurance license. And I think it focuses on what both party brings and the strengths of both parties. So as Nkazi said, we partner with guys with new product ideas or new distribution ideas that want to build a business. What we do and what we're good at is the governance of a life license, and making sure that we've got a compliant life license and that we're there for the long run, that the end customer can be assured that when they have a valid claim, it will be paid. There will be money around to pay that claim. And that's what we focus on. So it's bringing these strengths of both parties and creating a way of supporting that innovation in the industry.
There's a guiding light for us at Yalu, and that is when customers know better, they will do better. And that's at the very heart of what we're doing. So for us, we view our entry into the market as we're going to spend a lot of time upfront for probably a few years just educating customers, because we fundamentally believe if they know about the fact that they've got options in choosing a different credit life insurance product, and not just to take the one that they were given by their bank when they took out their loan, and that they have these options, that for us is actually step one. And when they know better, we believe they'll do better. And then that's when the innovation comes in. We've created a self-service online platform that allows any customer to take out a product in less than 5 minutes. It is incredibly intuitive and very quick. And you get your policy, so it's not one of those where you log online, you enter a few details, and then someone says, okay, I'll call you back. No, the product is taken end to end without any intervention from any human being. Or you can call us if you'd like to talk to an individual, because we find that in South Africa that's still quite critical.
And that's where the co-crafting comes in, because what we make sure is that the journey and all the material that's presented to the customer and the marketing that's put out there is compliant and explains it in the right way and is not misleading and follows all the regulations, because that's very important, that the customer is clear what they buy and that the product delivers on what they buy.
What is a customized risk solution? And perhaps just to make it as easy as possible for us to understand, provide a good example.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. A customized risk solution. So to me, it speaks to knowing who you are. Right? So in your case, I might, if we were to sit and have a conversation, I might discover that you've got a loan with Bank Y, you've got a student loan with Bank X, right? Based on knowing what your specific needs are and what your current financial strains are, you then deliver a product that actually speaks to covering your needs, but also leaving you in a position where you're confident that you're well taken care of. And so our product is, as Yalu is, the Yalu insurance product is customized in the sense that it specifically looks at people who have these forms of debt that have been issued to them by various credit providers. And so, the target market is it's very linear, it's very clean, it's very well defined, because there are very specific hurdles you would need to go through in order to get debt from a credit provider, right? So for us then, when we look at the Yalu insurance product, it really speaks to a form of customization that speaks to that kind of customer that I've just described.
Many thanks to my guests once again for those insights on these insurance products. Do stay tuned. MindSpace continues straight after the break.
Igama lami Sibusiso Ngwenya. I am a 27-year-old entrepreneur from Johannesburg. I was born in the east of Johannesburg, a small township called Tsakane, which has a population of something like 100,000 individuals, underprivileged individuals, most of whom are unemployed. So really the only way out of that situation is if you're selling cigarettes at the corner, you work as a cashier, or you're really stealing from your neighbors. So personally, I'm 1 in a million to be out of that situation, to be able to think of something, to dream of something, and have the luxury and the privilege to pursue it and see it coming into life. Yeah, I was very entrepreneurial as a child. I took that from my grandmother. My grandmother ran a lot of informal businesses, And I remember at the age of 10 in primary school, I used to sell sweets to my peers. And my brand right now is called S Skinny SBU Socks. When I was a kid, I had a slogan called Strong, Sexy and Sweet. And that gave me a competitive advantage because my peers would sell sweets for for 20 cents and I sold sweets for 30 cents. So I've always knew the power of branding. A year after dropping out the University of Johannesburg, where I was doing politics, and I had this bright idea of just selling socks. And I remember major brands were booming at the time, you know, were coming into the country. The whole sock frenzy was just a buzz, you know. And for me, I saw an opportunity, and that is how I started Skinny SBU Socks, and that is how I started taking myself seriously as an entrepreneur. I'm a very tall guy. I'm 1.9 meters tall. So if you can imagine that, I'm the size of your door at home. So most clothes don't fit me properly. Most pants are just 3/4 pants. And for me to compensate for the gap between my shoes and my pants, I'd wear very colorful socks. And I think me washing my socks by hand and me being tall, really that was the love. That was the beginning of the love for socks for me. A lot of people ask me about why do I have my logo on my neck, you know. I told you, I'm in one of the most funniest positions ever in my life, because my sock brand is reliant on my personal brand, and my personal brand is reliant on my sock brand. The brand is called Skinny SBU Socks. So my name is SBU, I'm skinny, I sell socks. So me and my brand are one. But also I'm a marketer at heart, you know. I believe that branding is everything. Branding, marketing, and advertising is the reason why Coca-Cola is still #1 in the world, because they've never relaxed and said, we are selling enough cans right now, let's cut down on the marketing budget. I'm using my own funds to market my brand, and I'm forced really on a daily to find creative, cheap ways to get the business out there. I was a news anchor actually at a radio campus, University of Johannesburg, and I was reading a story about 2 entrepreneurs in New York who have started this sock business and now it's booming. And I said, hey, but I have an appreciation for socks, because at the time I remember I had collected something like 70 pairs of socks of my own. So for me, it was a natural transition to move from a sock collector to now building one of Africa's premier sock brands. And I immediately went to Mr. Price store. My mom had given me 70 rands to go spoil myself with a meal. And I remember the socks were marked down to 5 rand each. I repackaged them with a golden orange string, and I started selling them to my friends on social media. And I must emphasize this, I think if you happen to be starting your business in this age, you have the luxury of having automatically an audience of something like 2,000 people on your personal Facebook, which are your friends, and that is what happened to me. The start of my relationship with Starter Forts was a great blessing, because it meant that I'm now a mainstream brand, you know. But I spent a lot of money as a young entrepreneur trying to market his business. I was supplying a couple of stores throughout the country. I was taking care of the distribution myself. I was taking care of the marketing, internal in-store marketing, and also driving traffic outside the store. I was taking care of the entire Skinny SBU Socks business inside Starter Forts, and they were just taking a huge cut. And once more, I want to take you through what was happening in my head. I'm being given this chance to now live my dream. I didn't read the contract. And at the end of our relationship, a year after of being there, when their brand was going down, I was in debt of something like 800,000 from just trying to keep that business alive. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because immediately after all that, we now were able to put our product at 20 Markham stores throughout the country. And since then we've been adding, and now we're adding 10 more stores. So that's just been the journey from Starter Forts, and how it had a replifying effect on me personally as an entrepreneur within the business and the business itself. And right now, as we're sitting here, Markham has 350 stores throughout the country. So they're one of the biggest distributors throughout the continent. And I specifically targeted them. I went to the Foshini group, I pitched my business. And not to sound funny, I had a strong case, you know. I'd been running my business for 3.5 years. I had incredible numbers on social media. I had incredible numbers on the streets. People were demanding my product. And I had an incredible products and quality to back all that noise. So they said, you know what, let's give it a try. And I was in negotiation with them for 9 months. And I was very particular with every detail of the contract because I've been burnt before. We couldn't compromise where we make the product. Skinny SBU Socks is still, even today, 5 years later, being manufactured at a factory in Cape Town because I care about local job creation. I care about the local manufacturing industry. My grandmother, who's played a very important part in my story, used to be a factory worker. And she tells me about a time in South Africa where almost everybody had a job because the manufacturing industry was booming. So when you go to the factory that we use in Cape Town, there's a squatter camp opposite the factory. And the factory employs something like 60 individuals from the squatter camp. So for me, I sleep a happy man knowing that my hard work in Johannesburg and anywhere else in the world goes on to feed all those 60 families in Cape Town. The DNA of the brand is taken from the creator of the brand. I'm an incredible storyteller. I come from a family of storytellers, so it's very important for me to still have that element of storytelling in my brand. For example, if you look at this particular pair, which I'm wearing today, it's a Ndebele inspired sock. From this collection, we took the spirits and the stories of 5 South African kings and rulers. We were telling the story of the Zulu king, Shaka Zulu, the Basotho king, Moshweshwe, the Xhosa king, Uyenza, and the Ndebele king, Usobuza, and try and take their culture, try and take their teachings and put them in a sock. And all the time, because we're an urban brand also, that is a premium positioning, we try and figure out how can we make it modern, how can we make it appeal to the masses. And that is when we mix culture and storytelling and future focus and put it in a sock. When I first created this collection, I was inspired a lot by corporate guys who has gray pants and a white shirt, and it's just limited to that, you know. So that's the kind of market that we're speaking to when we're starting the brand. So that's when you get the very simple kind of designs, but they are very hip and they have a bit of personality. One of my mentors is the CEO of Old Mutual Investment, Kaya Gobodo, who is helping me with the long-term plans of the business, you know. Not necessarily the daily runnings, but the big monies and the big targets of the business, and is really an instrumental part of the Skinny SBU Socks vision. So mentorship is a very funny thing, you know, because we all think that when you're being mentored by someone, they sit you down, you take on a pen and a paper, and they show you the ways around. But as a 27-year-old entrepreneur who is only right now starting to make his millions from his business and starting to have high impact, it's a new space for me. It's new territories for me. So I need someone who is able to help me navigate that space. And that is what Kaya is to me. he is someone who introduces me to his peers who have influence in other spaces, in corporate SA, and helping me also how to structure my business like a sustainable business also. He has extensive experience when it comes to that space. I am planning to have Africa's premium lifestyle brand that focuses on urban menswear clothing. The same gentleman that I'm selling socks to, I want to be able to dress his partner. I want to be able to dress his kids, and I want to be able to dress his home. So that is where we are driving Skinny SBU Socks. In terms of the how and when, the future will tell.